She came to Gary and asked him if she could dye her hair in our bathroom. Again, he's been there, done that. He remembers the horror of bleaching hair, and he said, no. Um, why don't you use your own bathroom? Because her and her brother share one. And she said, well, he's taking a shower. And he said, well, you're not going to use my bathroom to bleach your hair. And by the way, we had colored her hair in our old house, and splatters got on the wall. And he went, that's something he couldn't stand. Anyway, so then a couple minutes later, she came and asked him if she could use the bathroom, to go to the bathroom. And he said no, because he thought she was being, trying to get back in there, or just trying to do a kid thing. And she goes, but I really need to pee. And he said, okay, go ahead. And that interaction right there, whatever really happened, I don't know. She left that night, packed up her stuff and left, and went to her father's, and wouldn't come home for 2 weeks.
He seemed like kind of like that was like the last straw kind of thing.
And I couldn't make them get together. So for 2 weeks, actually for the first 3 days, I couldn't barely get out of bed. I thought she was never coming home. I thought she was gone. I thought he had snapped their relationship. I thought he had broken it to some extreme.
He brought up like how I'm just like super rude and disrespectful all the time, and I don't see that, because like that's how I've been with my mom forever.
And this was the first time that any confliction had happened.
This is a classic triangle between a step parent and a biological mom and the child. And the mother has already told us in another clip that she tends toward the lenient, and that she appreciates that the stepfather has sort of influenced her to say, you need to draw more lines here. And she said, he's helping me with that. So we know that we've got a little bit of that good cop, bad cop going on. And the mom has been, as she describes herself, more lenient. And then the stepfather comes in saying, draw more lines. So for the daughter to snap, as the mother described, and go off for 2 weeks, we know that's a pretty serious rupture. And it's not just the no to going in the bathroom. It's probably a good while where the parents have taken these two positions, and the daughter now has taken the stand to say, I don't like this arrangement, I'm going to dad's. And she can get away with that because she has a back door. Most daughters in a different scenario, they could go to their friends, they could run away. But it's a pretty serious breach when you leave the home for two weeks. So I think we should start by really being empathetic to each person. The mom appreciates having a new partner. She thinks she should become more authoritative and accept his influence. She wants to even out her parenting. The stepfather, as so many step-parents do, enters on the situation and says, I see a little excess or a little deficit here. I'm going to weigh in and help this situation out. But what they don't realize is that then they become the bad news person, and that child is not bonded to that new step-parent. Step-parents start out being bad news. That's the reason why they're the bad guy in all the fairy tales, right? It's always the bad stepmother. That child is sharing their mother. They are losing some of what they had, which is a one-on-one, and now they have to share space, and they have to let in the power of that new person. It's set up to be bad news. And he's coming in with the heavier foot as well. So he's in a precarious position. And now, of course, he's destabilizing that parental and that marital unit too, because the mother was in bed for 2-3 days thinking she lost the relationship forever. So empathy to the daughter would be that she's sharing her mother. The stepfather comes in with some kind of new parenting approach that she does not like at all. And so all she has to do is go to her father's house and punish her mother for her naughty behavior of having been influenced by this new person on the scene. Now, what would I advise if I were coming on the scene right here? I'd first say, oh, too bad. Step families are the most stressful family unit on the planet. And the step parenting literature would advise, go slowly. right? Your bad news as a new parent until your good news. And we really won't know until your good news, I don't know, maybe for 1 to 2 years. So it's really paradoxical and counter to our sense of things that we should be passive as a step parent for a while before we weigh in. It just doesn't seem right. I'm an adult. I see that these things need to be cleaned up here. So let's just do it. It doesn't work well. So what we usually advise is for the mom to maybe use the stepfather in this situation as a consultant. Maybe he's got good ideas, but she should be on the front line. She should be the driver. He should be in the back seat for a while, so that the daughter doesn't overreact to this new influence. Plus, we should make him the good news guy. We should really preserve and really encourage a lot of fun and good times for those two so they can bond. It's not easy to bond to a new person when you're an adolescent, much easier as a toddler. So this should be seen as precarious land, and it should be traveled much more carefully. And I think if we were going to do a patch up, we'd really want to start with this understanding of, oh, you've got it hard, and you've got it hard, and you have it hard too. Okay, let's start over. How can we make this work better? And then just, fresh slate without any bad guy at all. More like, oh, set up for difficulty, let's start over.